Before discussing the various ways that you can change the size of items within vRigger, it's important to note that if you want to change the size of all of the gear, you should use the zoom commands on the View toolbar. The sizing command shown in this video should only be used to change the size of an item relative to other items on the workspace. For example, to change the size of this person relative to the rigging gear. When you select an item in vRigger, a rectangle is displayed around that item. Sizing handles appear in the corners. You can click and drag any of these handles to resize the item. When multiple items are selected, you can drag any of the items to resize all of the selected items. Some of the items in vRigger have 4 extra sizing handles. These additional handles allow you to change the height and width of the item independently. You can press the Shift key while resizing this type of item, and it'll ensure that that item remains square. You can also resize gear by selecting it and then changing its size in the Properties pane. Let's look at some of the nuances of using the Properties pane. When multiple items are selected, an additional field named Relative Size appears in the Property pane. Changing this value changes the size of all of the items relative to their current size. That's different than changing the size in this main size field, which sets the size of all of the items to that specific size. In this case, all of those items were changed to 75% of their size. When you select a rope, you can enter a percentage. I'll change its size slightly. But you can also follow the number with cm for centimeters, mm for millimeters, or inches, or double quotes for inches. For example, I can size this rope to 11 millimeters. You can see that this webbing is already sized to 1 inch, and I can change the diameter of this hose from 100% to 2.5 inches. When text is selected, you can resize it by entering a percentage, as with the other items. You can also resize it by dragging one of the sizing handles. But with text, there's an additional field that allows you to set it to a point value. So here I set it to 12 points. And finally, when we're resizing one of the items that can have different height and width, a height and width field appears within the Property pane. That wraps up this short video on sizing gear in vRigger. Keep in mind that to zoom in or out on all items, use the zoom commands on the View toolbar and resist the temptation to size the individual items.